Uh, Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to tonight's broadcast of Old Dominion Heroes. Um, we are running, as of course you well know, Waterdeep Dragon Heist. Tonight is probably going to be our second to last game that we run of this, seeing as we're reaching the final precipice of the story as it's unfolding. Um, be your lovely DM, Thomas. And up here, kind of, maybe I'm doing it wrong. Up here, yeah, up here is Giacomo, and I'll pass it away. We'll go Giacomo, Misty, Lesra, and then Olan. Ogden will not be with us tonight, unfortunately. He has had a few complications, so we don't think he's going to be able to return. If any of you had any questions about why Ogden didn't participate in the last game, that's why he's had some work complications, and he will not be returning for the foreseeable future. But Giacomo, could you take it away? And if not, it's okay. We can go to Misty.
Yeah, pass me.
Okay, so we'll go to Misty. We'll start at Misty, then go to Lesra, and then Olan.
Uh, okay. I'm Misty. I'm a Tabaxi rogue. I'm once again the troublemaker of the group. And I sneak out at nights. I do a bunch of stuff, and I almost got killed by the guard, whatever it is, and I'm now under the watchful eye of a parole officer. And I guess that's it.
Hi, I'm Jason. I'm playing Leslie, a human life cleric who's a member of the City Watch and is actually Misty's parole officer. Um, I joined the group a few weeks ago to help them finish out the campaign, and been having fun. Hope you enjoy tonight's episode.
All right.
Yep.
Hi, this is Olan Reese, your friendly neighborhood shadow sorcerer. um, and I'm soon to be poor again. I once was rich, then I was poor, then I was super poor, and now I'm about to be poor again. But my luck is turning up. I have found a new lady for this, and we'll see what happens. We only got 2 games left. Who knows? Who knows?
And I am your favorite half-dark elf bard,
Okay, that's it. I'm done.
Jacques.
That's your turn, buddy.
Were you not done, Ryan? I apologize.
See.
And I'm your favorite half-drow bard, Giacomo Clopan, performer extraordinaire of the Waterdeep Circus of Traveling Gypsies. And well, you're in for a treat. This evening, we're one step closer to that stinking treasure. We're gonna make all those namby-pamby rich boys squeal when we find it. And on a lighter note, as my friend Olan said, there's a budding new romance between him and the barmaid Bonnie. Join us this evening as we get into a myriad of Waterdavian hijinks and observe the flower of love blooming right before us.
Well, we find the party is heading back and making their way to Troll Skull Manor. After a long day and night, it's starting to become the wee late hours of the night. The party takes a carriage back. It's cold and snowy. The wind is rushing by, and you see faint clouds and shimmers of light, the stars glistening and the moon bright and shining. Ahead, as you're in the carriage, you hear the clopping sounds of the hooves on the stone cobbled streets. And off in the distance, flying past the moon, you see a large griffin rider doing their nightly patrols. A few hours passes. All of you are freezing cold, chilled to the bone. You make your way back to Trollskull Manor. The lights, dimly lit from the inside, flickering flames rolling. You can see few customers still reside there. Your home, your keep, Trollskull Manor. You all steadily make your way in for the night, one by one falling through the door. There you see a few of your friends still sitting, Ogden sitting, drinking, smiling. You hear him say, "So how was everything? The bar's been kept up nice and neat." You see a familiar face. Um, Eleonora sits over by the fire, kind of messing with a few of her arrows. And a few other customers kind of linger about, drinking ale, cutting their steak flagon pieces of meat and shoveling them into their faces. One familiar face, an older man, sits in the back with his head laying against the table, passed out from exhaustion for the day's work. You get a cold rush of air as all of you walk through the front door, and the door closes on itself. Familiar sound. It's Lif. Lif is kind of being a little bit more cordial and gracious for all of the work that y'all have done and put into this manor, this place you all call home. And you all steadily make your way to your rooms. Except for a few of you. For tonight brings many questions, many hopeful answers. And for here, I will graciously allow for each individual a 15 minutes worth of role play to kind of tie up any loose ends. We're going to go ahead and start with Giacomo. Giacomo, what would you be doing now that it has gotten later in the evening? You have this stone. You have all these questions. Is there anything that you would like?
Hey, you might want to skip Giacomo just for a little bit. Baby is being stupid fussy
Yeah.
right now.
It's a baby. It's a baby.
The Bible.
She probably misses her mama. So we're going to go ahead and come back. So I'm going to start over at Olan and work my way over.
Did we
start
not
over-
talk about who we're gonna start with?
Oh, okay, all right, it's fine. We'll start with.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. That's
It
right.
does matter. It does matter. You wanted to go first. You're going first, man.
All right. So Misty, it's late
So
and it is freezing cold. Ice is built up on the windows. The warmth from the fireplace and the hearth is just it's billowing out into this tavern. If you would go up to your room, even then, like you're walking through what feels like a foot of snow, and there's like a hard crunch, uh, like a little. Oh, it's saying that they're saying that the everything is kind of a little spotty. and that the audio is a little bit behind. But oh well, we'll work on it later. D&D. So it's like every time Misty would walk through the snow and step down into it, it's like you're breaking through kind of like a thin little layer of ice that's kind of nestled down and kind of building up. You move your move around and you start making your way up to the room, and you're digging through all of this ice. Just your paws are cold and starting to get stiff, and just your nails are starting to hurt as you're digging them into the siding, into the wood, and you're kind of relaxing now that you're up in your room. It's ridiculously warm in this room, and there sits that letter resting, kind of poking out from underneath your mattress. What do you do, man? Oh,
I've already read the letter, right? Or is this a new letter?
mm-hmm. You've already read the letter.
All right. I'm gonna go find who I think I need to go find.
Okay. So you want to be sneaky about this, right?
Oh yeah.
All right, roll me a stealth check.
Let's see. Come on, baby. That is a 24.
Beautiful. All right. Um.
So I climb out my window and do my thing.
Mm-hmm. So you climb out of this window, and you kind of get what you need um for the night. Kind of wrap your face up. As you do, you think about where you need to go. Do you remember where you need to go?
I not at all.
Please roll me a history check.
I play too many games. Jesus. Oh, that's a 3.
Or would you have brought the letter with you?
Yeah, I would have. I mean, I would have taken it with me because I don't want
Okay.
anybody to find it. So yeah,
Yeah.
I would have brought it with me.
So you're trying to remember, and for all that you can, there's just nothing's coming back to you. You remember it was a statue, one of those large.
Oh,
But you
right.
don't remember exactly which one, and that's
Right.
kind of reach into your pocket and you pull out the piece of paper, and the wind's rustling it, throwing it about, moving it back and forth, and you look down, and that's when you realize that hold on one second. Hmm? Oh, sorry. And that's when you kind of read it, and it actually says the Agarian's statue.
Okay.
Please meet me here. It is well-known landmark in the city. Uh, Parkland Cemetery. A tall marble sculpture with a bearded, robed wizard stands atop eccentric steps. Please meet me here.
Yeah. Now it's all coming back to me again. Yeah. So I will. Do I know where that is?
It's actually in the City of the Dead. It is actually
Oh.
where you came from. It's
Oh. Well, I will head on over there.
So I'm going to need you to roll me a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, what?
Constitution the saving throw.
Uh. Sure.
Or would you try and take a cab, like a taxi?
No, I'll just do a con save.
Okay.
That's a 3.
Okay. So as you're traveling through this frozen, cold, snowy environment, through the cities, the streets, the alleyways, and kind of moving up and past buildings and trash cans and running from rooftop to rooftop like Misty loves to do,
Mm-hmm.
you slip, and it's not your fault. It's the weather's fault. The snow, you have stepped on it in this precarious position, which caused a massive amount of the snow from one roof to fall and slide down the rooftop, which you go with it. And as this happens, you land into a big tuft of snow. You're not hurt, but your entire body is covered in snow. And that's when it hits you. It settles into your fur. You are freezing, and this will only make you colder. You now suffer 1 point of exhaustion.
Oh no.
Um, so you finally make your way to the city of the dead, and there you see this massive, large statue, and you're a little wet, and some of like your fur has started to freeze over. You kind of wrap yourself up trying to maintain your warmth, but even doing that, it still traps in some of the cold air, and it rushes in once in a while. This massive, grand statue resides within the city of the dead, towering up, standing there, almost looking like it's about to cast a spell. And at the base, covered in snow, sits a hooded figure. A few of the city guard within the city of the dead, the church officials, walk past and nod at this hooded figure, and the hooded figure nods back. You can tell this person's been sitting here for quite some time. This is the
I've got
location, and this is the time at which was specified for you to meet this person.
I've
How
got
would
my hood up too, so
Okay. How would you approach? Would you be stealthy and quiet, or be like, you know, laissez-faire?
I'll walk up and then show my palm.
Okay. So the moment that you show your palm, um, this person, like, all you can see is the hood, and just darkness, and you hear an older woman's voice. Oh, so you're the one that my snake finally felt. Oh, thank goodness. There's someone I can actually turn to. I've been I've been having an issue, and I don't know where to go. If you're willing to, would you let me stay with you for a while? Now, I I'm quite good at hiding and being discreet. Was wondering, I have nowhere to go, and I was hoping that you would let me maybe stay with you. Have you heard what's been going on in the city as of recent? I've heard that they might start releasing synths soon. Gosh, where's Davil when you need him?
Does she look familiar at all to me or no?
Uh, no. I'm gonna be completely honest. This person you would have never seen. Um, you've never heard of them, but at the same time, this person doesn't seem to have heard of you or know who you are.
That
They
does
just
she
trust you.
does she have proof that she's his net?
Are you gonna ask her?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm like once I showed my hand, I would go, how, I know I got this letter and the wing snake, but how do I know that I can trust you?
You don't trust me?
I
That's
don't know
fair.
you.
That's fair. Here. And she kind of like goes over to her sleeve and she pulls it up, and kind of like right on the forearm, like right where your elbow joint meets, there's a massive tattooed winged serpent.
Oh, okay.
And it's probably about like 6 inches wide and 6 inches long. And she says, "Is that enough? I don't have to go around stealing from people to prove who I am, do I?"
Yeah, it's out that. I mean, that seems pretty legit to me. Um, I will. I'll just say, yeah. You can. You know what? Why did you? Why did you request me?
Well, I didn't really request you. I've been searching for other Zents, and luckily enough, um, I not me, but my snake was able to find someone. Um, you, do you not have flying snake?
No, I don't. And to be honest with you, I'm not really liked in the Zent community. You know, you mentioned Dabble, and Dabble is not really keen on me. I'm just curious.
I haven't heard Davil say anything bad about you. What's your name?
My name's Misty.
No, and she looks like she's being completely honest and forthcoming. She says, "I haven't heard anything bad about you. Um, I also haven't heard anything about you. The city's quite large and there are a lot of us, but as time has gone on, a lot have been taken from the streets. I have heard a rumor that they're going to be releasing them very soon, here in possibly in the next couple of days. That would be really, really nice because then I could go back to the way things were." And you see her kind of like reach down, and as she reaches down and like she pulls some like weird silicone like material, and
Hmm.
notice that she has like what appears to be a rubber nose of
Hmm.
some sort, and she has like this weird strange hair like material, and she's like presenting these things, and she says, "This is what I've been using to hide myself. If I have them all on, it makes me appear as if I'm some dwarven man. I can do a really good dwarven impression too. Um, so again, I can't give you anything now, but if you help me and everything kind of clears over, I promise you I can give you something. Um, here, this is. I mean, I don't have much again, but this is what I can give you, and this is 10 now, and I'll give you 40 more if you're willing to help me and let me lie low for at least the next 10 days." And she presses what appears to be 10 coins. You can't really see it in this light. The light's
Hmm.
almost like pitch black, and even with your ability to see in the dark, it only appears to be like of grayish material.
Hmm.
But they're rather large coins, and they're genuinely heavy compared to copper or silver.
What? Did she tell me her name or no?
The letter would have had her name on it.
Okay.
Let me just double check. Yep, it would have had her name on it. Istrid Horn. So you should know
Istrid.
her. Yeah, Istrid. Istridhorn.
Yeah, I'll take her. I'll if she wants to come stay in my room, I'll take her back. But you know, we're basically gonna have to do my normal sneaky sneak thing and come in the window just
She
so
can't
no
get
one
into.
else sees her.
She will not be able to go and climb up the side of a building like you.
Hmm.
I mean, the entryway to your apartment is basically through a back alley and a door that's not even connected to the tavern. So really, if you just if y'all can
Yeah.
sneak around and
Yeah,
kind of
we can do that. We'll do that. But so yeah, we'll come back and I'll make sure that she has a safe place to stay and
roll me a stealth check.
That is a 22.
Yeah. So, the two of you, after being out for about 2 or 3 hours, you come back and it's around 2 o'clock at past midnight. And the party mixer, well, the party's kind of like settled into their respective rooms by now, probably passed out. I'm probably going to make all of them roll perception checks during their kind of like elated turns and whatnot. But you and Istrid make your way back up to your room, and you kind of settle in and kind of let her set up her space. And she does. She pulls out what appears to be a long blanket that's been sitting underneath this long cloak, and she lays out the kit, and pulls out what appears to be a small, like, assembled, with a couple of sticks and two pieces of wood and board, this like little table where she kind of puts this mirror down, and she sets out all of these disguise making tools, and you see her slowly, steadily apply this like
Hmm.
makeup to her, and she appears to be of, like, I'd say a rather older woman. Like, what she'd almost look like she's in her like late 70s to
Mm.
like early 80s. Just this white hair, and just like thousands of wrinkles, and but she doesn't appear to be like miserable. I mean, she's missing like almost all of her teeth. She probably has like three teeth on the top and like one good tooth at the bottom. And she puts this makeup on, and she puts these fake teeth in, and she like looks at you, and she puts this wig on and kind of like drapes it over top of her semi balding head, and she blends everything in, and you swear that you're looking at a 50 to a 60-year-old dwarven man that you never knew was traveling with you. And you can't help but like glance over to check to see if you see any of the makeup lines and whatnot, and you don't. You see no fake latex nose where it looks like it appears like it would be connected. It all looks like it's one solid piece. She's like glued on fake facial hair and fake eyebrows, and she's like done these things with her nails to make her nails look like they've got dirt under them, and like takes this like bits of her clothes and switches her around and changes it around, and it makes her look like she's like got like broad like shoulders and stuff like that. And it looks at you, and in this sweet little woman's voice she says, again, uh, thank you for letting me stay here. I'm gonna go to sleep now. And she says, just so I don't catch you off guard, I'm gonna talk like this from here on out. It should help make people believe that, good Istrid Horn is no longer with us. Just call me Horn. Just call me Horn from here on out.
Gotcha. And I will, first of all, to be fair, I since I had exhaustion, it's actually at 19 stealth, which I mean it's not much different, but just if you're gonna make people roll to see if notice this, I thought D&D Beyond did it automatically, but yeah, I'll go ahead and stoke like the fire in my room and make sure it's all warm in there, and I'll lay down on the bed, and I guess I'll go ahead and start, go to sleep, I guess.
Mm-hmm. So we're gonna go over to Lesra. It is Lesra's turn.
Okay. So
So
Leslie wanted to leave the party for the night and go back to her quarters at the temple.
okay.
Because she has quarters there. And she also wanted to speak with one of the temple elders while she was there.
Okay. So you make your way back through the streets, heading back to your clergy, and you finally make your way down into this one long familiar street that kind of turns to the right at the end, and right at the end where that turn is your church. Um, the Church of the Holy Light is what you would call it.
Okay.
This church has been home to you for many years. You've devoted your life, your time, and your belief to all that is good and all that is just. And you've been tasked with this, what some would call a burden, being someone's judge, juror, and if need be, executioner. You know this to be a paladin job, not a not a cleric of the faith, not someone who is not the direct right hand of the gods, but someone who is the voice and mouth and the guiding reason for the light. You make your way there and up the steps, these almost granite like marble with a fine shine patina polish across the stone, and it's clear that someone comes out and sweeps these steps occasionally, once every couple of hours. You end up um, going up to the front door, and there are these massive wooden doors, two large double doors that are about 10 feet wide, both doors. So it's the doors themselves in total would be about 20 feet wide and 10 feet tall. And you push one of the doors open just so, and as you do, the snow rushes into this brightly illuminated with light and mirrors. There is a large array of bright light that immediately flows out of this church. The warmth, the fireplaces that have been lit. There's a rather large um, bowl that's kind of been indented and cut into this finely ground granite. And this is where the church has what appears to be this massive, uh, um, like floating bowl with what appears to be these blue and yellow, almost like glass-like rocks that litter inside this bowl with flames billowing up and rolling out. You would know from being here that the flames themselves are complete magic. The stones themselves are there just to assist in maintaining the warmth and light. And this massive hall with these massive columns, six to be exact, six on each side, continue to travel further down, and there sits in the center of this massive, grandiose hall is a large crescent moon shaped desk with what appears to be two church individuals standing directly behind the desks. One is filing what appears to be scrolls onto a cart, and the other seems to be looking through a book standing, kind of checking ledgers and checking notes. And as you're moving and walking further down the hall, you can see there's these stone kind of cobbled cut entryways, these doorways that lead to other sections of the church. But as you approach and get further and deeper into this room, you notice that there are these massive decorative murals along the ceilings and walls of what appears to be soldiers wearing like plate mail and chain mail, holding lances and some holding bows, shooting arrows, and riding these massive griffins. And above all of them, on each mural, is this massive sun that is kind of like displayed behind every single massive grand uh um fight, or a picture of like a griffin flying and the sun is directly behind it. And down on the floor in front of the desk is this massively cut image of what appears to be a gauntlet that is radiating some form of like light behind it. And you approach the desk, and this older individual, this man, um looks up from the desk and sees you and goes, "Eh, oh, a visitor. Hello, welcome. This is a late time for anyone to be showing up here at the church. Um, Lesra, why are you here?"
Well, I've had a very long day, and I wanted to talk to you about my assignment that you sent me on.
Oh, all right. Oh, you wish to speak to me?
Well, you are the one that put me on the replacement.
I, I am. Yes. Here, would you give me a moment? And he kind of puts his finger up just to kind of like, to signal like, one moment, please." And he turns and he says, "Lady Ashara, could you please finish up here? I need to talk to Lesra immediately about what's concerning her." And um, you would see Lazara kind of look up and go, um, "Yes, High Priest. Please allow me to take over." And he gets up and he kind of puts on this what appears to be a white and silvered like robe. It's kind of got like this massive drapery that kind of goes over his chest and down to the floor. And you see he's wearing like these strange white slippies, like little slippers. And you see him kind of like shuffling across the floor, and he tightens up his collar and pulls up his pants a little bit, and he walks around and he says, "Come, come, uh, let us pray to the guiding light." And he kind of ushers you down into the left, and there is a archway that has been cut away, and it is um, almost circular in nature, and on the edges it has like these large kind of like like jagged and zigzagging like rays that have been painted off of the circular surface, that are meant to make it appear as if it is like beams of light that are radiating off of the sun. And as you approach into this massive room, there are these beautiful, beautiful, um, uh, kind of stained glass murals of what appears to be a beautiful, brilliant road that is leading up. It's like almost like emeralds and sapphires, and like the edges of the road are lined with almost like paved gold on the edges, and the solder between each pane of glass has been done with what appears to be like platinum or silver, some form of like the almost maybe even a white gold. You don't really fully know, and it's this grandiose path that leads up to this massive sun, and then that's at like the center back part of the chamber, and on the right you see one of this massive man with like blonde hair riding on top of this beautiful like white stallion, and on the left hand side you see just what appears to be the base tenants of Automator. Well, did I say it right?
I think so.
Give me one second. Altimator. Uh, let's
Um,
see.
Ominator?
It's always been like D&D Beyond. Unfortunately, hasn't like they haven't like
So,
put it like the spelling.
so he has a couple of different names,
Yeah, he
but
goes as Lathander. Lathander is
yeah,
the most commonly known.
yeah. But the way Wikipedia spells it is Amaunator.
A mater.
Ominator. But we can
Yeah,
call
it's like
him.
Omniator.
Yeah.
Let me see if the wiki has this. It's Amonator. Yeah, so it's Ommonator.
Ominator.
Yeah, it's basically
Okay.
AH. It's A, and then MAWN, and then A ter.
Okay.
Amonator. Like Amonator.
Ominator. Got it.
Yeah, that sounds more right.
Okay.
So it basically it would say like you would know that his titles are the Yellow God, Keeper of
Yeah.
the Yellow Sun, Keeper of the Golden Sun, Keeper of the Eternal Sun,
Yeah.
basically keepers of the sun, keeper of the law, the light of law. His commonly known name that most refer to him as is Lathander. Um, so and again, this massive portrait of the sun illuminates with the tenets of your faith directly to the left, kind of posted up and kind of shown amongst everyone. And it's what appears to be when the sun rises from like the west, that image is the first one that is illuminated, and then as it continues to rise it switches through each colored stained glass, and he takes you over to this mm, bench, one of the many benches, and he sits down with you and he says, um, what seems to be the issue? What's troubling you about what I've sent you to do? Is everything okay?
Well, when you gave me the assignment, I don't know if you didn't know or you didn't tell me, but I wasn't informed that they were seeking the the treasure beneath the city, and now they seem to be very close to finding it.
Are you talking about Rainier's father?
Yes.
Lord Neverember.
Yes.
So, this individual that I sent you to be their adjudicator seems to be rather close to the Stone of Galore, or
He
that's
he
the rumor
he
at
he
least.
he and his associates uh, have are very close to discovering the treasure.
So the rumors are true then.
Yes.
Church will definitely want to keep an eye on these individuals. Are you worried that they'll get it?
Um, they have all the necessary components to unlock the vault, or are about to. And that's why I wanted to come back for further instructions.
Well, what
Narc.
what do you think we should do? Lathander, our lord, he
You know,
he is not one who feels that we should go out and outright let evil follow its natural path. We are here to keep the peace. We're here to bring forth the light. Now, I know it is not your place to be one who is not a punishable or a violent, unscrupulous, murdering one. I mean, I've never heard you do these crimes and committed it. You believe that your faith is of the highest standing, and that's why I've entrusted you with this task of seeing to that this charlatan, this criminal, be watched, be punished if need be. I'm not asking you to go and stop them from obtaining this treasure. That's not for the church to decide. The gods are the ones that will decide that. It is our place to see to it that what good can be done will be done, and that, if need be, this treasure will not fall into the wrong hands. Do you think that these people could be those people? The kind that would use this money to hurt this world instead of help it?
well, I know that Rainier intends to return the treasure to the city.
That
That
is
that's his
that is
goal.
that is honest of him.
But I'm not sure about some of the members of the party that whether or not they have their own goals.
How about this? If you had the gold, this legendary horde of dragons, what would you do with it? Would you use it for good? Or would you use it for pure evil?
I like to think they would use it for good to help people, to help the poor,
I,
raise them up.
I honestly and truly believe you would do that. I am not. What? The charger? It's right there. Sorry. He says, I don't believe that you would abandon your faith and become an outcast over some treasure. I think if you do find this, it's The thing that you should do is, if anything, convince these people that to do the right thing is it's worth it.
And
Money is only a physical object, where doing the good thing is worth its weight in gold to everyone who sees it.
I have one last question for you before I go.
Yes.
Why did you assign me to this mission? The dozens of paladins that could have.
Yes, there are many paladins. We sent one to take care of this issue, but this individual has been rather busy, sent on a religious quest to assist a different calling. We thought that brute force wasn't the necessity for this situation, but more of a guiding hand to point the way. Stop with the exercise ring.
Sorry, that was okay.
It's you. It's you. Oh, sorry. I thought it was Ryan Spitzer. Um, but I feel that your faith and your ability to actually communicate with this individual will be a much stronger force to deal with than just brute force. Not always the muscle that wins the fight. Most of the
I,
time, it's just being there and being kind to one another that allows a person to start to think about changing to become a better individual.
I agree, and I really don't think that Misty, the person you sent me to look after, is actually completely evil. I think she is redeemable.
And that is a good quality to have. Lesra,
Ha 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 ha.
Lesra, are you worried about something?
I guess I'm worried what will happen when they discover the treasure, but
I think you're worried about not about what will happen to them, but what will happen to you. And here I I feel that the church needs you, but not in exactly the same way that you need it. A church cannot grow if all of its flock attend every service. The word of Lathander needs to spread, and if you prove yourself to be capable, I feel that it might be time for you to finally go out and to potentially start a church somewhere else. As time goes on, as your life goes on, you find new meaning. You find a purpose. When your life started here, your purpose, your meaning was your faith. I wish for you to grow a flock, to spread your wings, and to shed your light. You have a gift, Lesra, and I wish for you to see it. I wish for you to show others this beautiful light and to steer everyone clear and to drive them down that beautiful road of life and to give them meaning for themselves.
Well, I appreciate your faith in me. I will, and
Wouldn't have
I will
sent you.
try to.
I wouldn't have sent you had I not believed you had faith. If you did not have the ability to, you can do this. You will do this. Just believe. And he pats you on the back. Anything is possible, especially when the light has your back. He smiles at you.
Thank you for listening. I appreciate.
We're always here, Lesra. We're always here, and we will never be gone. We will never leave you. You will always be a sister to us, and we will always be a brother to you.
Is it alright if I sleep in my quarters tonight and I'll return to them in the morning?
Most definitely. Most definitely.
Okay.
We've missed you. It hasn't been the same without you, Lesra.
Okay.
Testing, testing.
Also, a random question. We've been getting a lot of stories kind of being spoken about in closed doors. But have you heard anything about bad nightmares? And that's where we'll end your roleplay.
Okay.
As for Olan Reese. Olan. It's late at night, and there seems to be snow building up thicker and thicker. You start to hear, as you sit in the tavern, a hissing sound coming from the fireplace. What do you do?
Hissing sound from the fireplace.
Mm-hmm.
I will go over and check it out. Go stoke the fire a little bit, and if it's warm enough, go sit beside it and drink some the ale that's from the tavern.
So when you go over to the fireplace, you hear this faint hissing sound every once in a while, and you look up the flue, and that's when you see a rather large buildup of ice is starting to collect, this charred black ice where soot and smoke have built up on it, and it is um, thickening up, but not enough. The heat is trying to escape, and moisture is rolling down into the fireplace. From about 30 to 40 feet, these little drops of sooted water cascade and fall down and splash onto the open flames and hissing and sizzling away into nothing but steam and hot air. You stoke the fire and the logs tumble in on themselves, kind of skittering as ash and soot rise, and a few sparks kind of skitter across the floor. You stomp them out. You make your way back over to the tavern counter's edge where you left your respective brew sitting, getting condensation built up on the edges. You look down, and Ogden stands directly to your left, and he says, "What is it? Why does your face look sad?"
I miss my father. I miss my family.
Me
I haven't
too.
seen them in many months. Well, I don't even know if I can really go back. That's the
Uh,
thing.
Everybody feels that they can't go back to something. I mean, everybody. I mean, I can't go back to the woods for too long because there's this place. I've got a job. I've got friends. He looks at you and pats you on the back. I've got all of this to look forward to. You you can't focus on the past if you're trying to embrace your future.
Right.
What are you worried about? That you're not going to see again? Doesn't
Yeah.
doesn't he live in the city?
Yeah, he does live in the city, but he won't see me right now.
Why is that? You've never really told me why your dad won't see you. That sounds
He
kind of
doesn't. It was mainly because of the fact if he wanted me to become my own man. I've been living in the house for way too long, to the point where my other siblings had gone out and did their own things and accomplished their own adventures and found their own treasures. I hadn't really done anything. I was still a first year like student. Like I've actually been going to class and studying these past few months, and accomplished pretty much. I'm pretty much a 4 year right now. I'm ready to almost graduate and start doing my own thing. But so I just miss my father, miss my siblings. I miss Bonnie too. I mean, that was awesome. Tonight was a wonderful night.
well,
But
congratulations to that.
yeah,
Here, cheers, man. And he like clings his glass up against yours, and he's like, it's always nice to have somebody,
yeah,
but it's always better to have family, isn't it?
yeah. It is good to have family. That's why I'm glad I met y'all when I came out of that shop. Did I ever tell you the reason why I started following y'all?
Well, I wasn't around. I just joined. You
I know
guys,
you just joined, but did I ever tell you the reason why I joined the group?
no, why?
Honestly, I don't know why, but something just told me to make sure to watch y'all's back and make sure y'all were safe. I don't know why, but just this I had this urge, and I'm glad I have. Y'all have become a new family of sorts, if you would. But hey,
Yeah, yeah. You've become like a brother to me too, man. Y'all are like my
yeah,
family. I, didn't really have much out in the woods. Now I've got y'all. It's nice to have friends and a, you know, place to hang out and kind of do your own thing. It's really relaxing. But hey, man, look, it's getting late, and I've got a job to do real quick.
oh, you're
All right,
good, dude. You take care of your business, man.
he
Um,
takes a big swig off of his drink, and he says, like pats you on the back and pulls his hood up over his head, and he says, "Hey, tell the guys, I'm gonna be gone for quite some time. Um, apparently, this farmer is having some trouble with what appears to be a pack of wolves sneaking in, and he needs me to take care of them. Says I get to keep all the pelts. I gotta get going for a while. I should be back in about a month. Um,
okay, man.
look, I, if I could say anything to you to give you some advice, I would say don't let go of the people you love. If you love your dad, go see your dad, man. If you love your brothers and your sisters, go spend time with them. Life's too short not to feel loved, man. But hey, if they don't love you, you got us. And he flips over his head and he says, "Hey man, keep the seat warm. I'll be back eventually." And he laughs and he picks up his bow and he walks out the front door. And immediately at the moment he opens up the front door, cold air rushes in and his hood gets knocked off his head and he goes, "Whoa, shouldn't have had that last beer." And then he closes the door right behind him and walks out.
Oh, I hope he's going to be okay.
Did you want to go see your father?
Yeah, I'll go see my dad.
All right. So you make your way all the way down to the Reese's home in the Castle Ward.
I would
Can
have
you,
taken a carriage, by the way, also.
okay, I was gonna say, I was gonna be
Mm.
like, can you roll me a Constitution saving throw?
I will subtract. How much gold am I subtracting?
It's so technically it's going to cost you about 3 silver pieces.
3 silver pieces.
Yeah.
Okay. All
Like when
right.
y'all are traveling together, they charge like a couple of pieces of gold, but like when it's just one person, it's just like 3 silver.
Okay.
Anywhere between like 3 to 5, depending on. Um, so you take the carriage and you head to the Reese's home, and you get there, and the windows have like this kind of like frosted tint to them from all of the ice and the condensation buildup inside the house. You see what appears to be these beautiful, grandiose gates, that are about 4.5 feet tall, that are just covered in ice and snow. This long path that spans about 40 feet in length, and 10 feet in width, that kind of go up to these massive 10 stairs, inclined, going up towards these beautiful mahogany wood doors, this massive metal clacker, and there's this beautiful light kind of glowing through these frozen and frosted glass windows, and you can see what appears to be your old butler, your old manservant, that used to help you out, Chauncey. Um, he he walks around, and you can see him putting up what appears to be a old picture that he's kind of recently wiped down. You see him throw this like rag over his right shoulder, and he kind of looks at it and props it up and slides it across this kind of like shelf unit, and he goes over to what you can see is like where the front door area is, and you can see him cleaning this old kind of what would be dusty but is in the midst of being completely cleaned and polished, silver like kind of goblet that sits on a mantle, and he looks out into the darkness and sees you kind of sitting and standing at the gate, and he smiles and he nods with like a side head tilt.
I push the gate open and I start making my way up to the house and whatnot. In case anybody that's listening didn't understand, my family is rich.
um so you open the gate and you start walking forward, and the snow is it it looks like someone's been outside to like sweep away a lot of the snow that's built up on the stone, and it unfortunately has caused a lot of ice buildup over the surface. So it's a little slippery here and there, in small little patches, and snow is accumulating on top of those ice patches. But you
Okay.
make your way up easily enough to the front door, and right as you get to the second to the top step, that's when Chauncey opens the door with this great big smile, and he says, "Ah, Lord Reese, it's good to see you here. Welcome. May I get your coat, sir?"
I take off my coat and I go to where the closet is that
He
he normally hangs it up, and I hang it up myself, and I give him a hug.
he looks at you and he says, um, "Ah, my good lord," and he wraps his arms around you and gives you a great big grandiose hug, and he says, "Lord, it's been a while, has it not? You
Yes,
look
it has been. Say,
you look young."
I feel younger. Is that a I don't know. I don't know. I
I
don't.
I don't know either. Um, is there anything I can get you? Would you like a snack? Would you like some hot tea or hot cocoa? Uh,
What would you normally have around this time as your drink? Would you drink cocoa, hot
ah,
tea?
it would be apple cider.
Well, then I will have apple cider, and then we can talk about whatever has been going on here, and then I can share what's been happening with me as well. But first, before we have the apple cider, is father around?
Yes, he's in his study doing a bit of work. You know how he can be. Just don't don't ask him for money.
No, no, of course not. No, I was
All
just
right,
gonna tell. I was just gonna say hello and wish him well.
all right. Well, let me get to the kitchen. I'll get that apple cider for you. And
Okay.
he stands up and kind of brushes a little bit of the snow that fell off of you from the hug. And he kind of like pats himself down, and he immediately walks down the hall and to the left into the kitchen, and you can hear him kind of grabbing some pots and pans, and you hear some clittering and clattering. And as you're walking down the hallway, heading down towards your father's study, you kind of take a glance in, and he's already at this time got this massive pot sitting on this what appears to be a stove of some type, and he has a wand, and you see him kind of incant and gesture as a magical what appears to be fire immediately illuminates and lights, and it starts kind of like cooking and boiling some of the uh like something that could be in the pot, and you see a couple of ingredients get thrown in as you're walking by, and as you're off in the distance, you can hear the cat 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 of what sounds like apples being sliced. um and you walk up to the door for your father's um, study, and there you can hear the sounds of footprints, kind of in a pacing like matter. 1 minute's on the left side of the door, the next minute's on the right side of the door, and um, you can smell this aroma of, I would say it's a mix of like coffee and almost like this hint of tobacco, and there's like this like musky cologne like aroma of some sort. You can't really put your finger on it, and it's just kind of wafting off this door. And there's like it's a bit brighter inside of the room than it is on your side of the door. So the
Hmm.
kind of billows out from underneath the door and kind of from the seams of the cracks of the edges. And you walk up to the door, and you can feel the warmth from this room. You would you walk in? Like, how are you
I
gonna walk
would.
kind of
I
casually?
would knock. I would knock first,
Oh
and then
wow.
I would. Yeah, knock first, man.
Um, you would hear Chansey, please, if you would give me a minute. Another coffee, Chansey, another coffee. Um,
I would
And
go get. I would because Chauncey's making me apple cider. I
yeah,
would go get my father coffee.
really, wow, this is big. So, you walk into the kitchen, and Chancey's already got all the apples kind of cut and sliced, and he's kind of cooking them down, and he's throwing in cinnamon and cloves and all these different seasonings and things like that, and adding sugars. And he looks at you and he says, "Oh, it's not ready, my lord. Uh,
No, I'm going to go get father coffee. You keep working on that. I'll go get the coffee for
oh,
father, and
oh, don't you
I'll be
bother.
back. No, no,
It,
no, Chauncey,
it's
Chauncey,
my job.
Chauncey. No,
Yes.
Chauncey. I want to do it. I
Oh,
want to. I want to. It's not. I understand it's your job, and I'm not trying to step on your toes. But I want to help you. You finish doing that, and you work on that. I'll go get coffee for father. Okay?
do you have brain leeches?
No, no, Chauncey, I don't.
Oh, all right. Um, the coffee's right there. Cups are on the third shelf, on the right in the third cabinet.
Okay.
Uh,
Is sugar in the same place?
the No, I had to move it when I caught you sticking your hand in it. It's over there in the cabinet.
Oh, okay. I make my dad his coffee and I take it to his room.
All right. So you kind of walk through the door, and he's got his back turned, and he's like leaning over his desk. And you can see a quill in his hand, and he's like writing clearly his name on a document or whatever, kind of giving his signature. And that's when he stops and he says, "Chauncey, just put it on my desk here. You know I'm busy. Please, just leave me, Chauncey."
Yeah, sure. No problem, Dad. And I put the coffee right there. And
You say
it's
like
good to
you
see you.
like it's like a completely different like voice and tone, and like he immediately like stands up and he says, "Chauncey," and he turns around and sees you, and like he just like looks at you with this like strange look over your face, like over his face, and he's just completely stumped. He's like, "Olan, is that
Yeah,
you?
Dad? Yeah.
You look completely different, my son. You clothes, they're old, and you brought me coffee? Uh, What's wrong with you? Do you have like something wrong with your brain or something, my son?"
No, no. Why did Chauncey said the same thing about brain leeches? I'm okay,
Brain
actually. I just
brain
yeah,
leeches?
brain leeches. No, there's no brain leeches. I'm perfectly fine. It's just that I guess I've learned humility since I haven't had any money or anything like that. And yeah, I just wanted to say that I love you, and I'm on the precipice of something amazing. I don't want to spoil it, but I just want to let you know that I'm doing okay.
Are
It
you
was fun. Hmm?
are you comfortable?
Yes, I run a tavern now, and
You
yeah,
run and like his eyes get all big, his mouth kind of drops a little bit, and he says, "You run a tavern? Like
yes, I
like
yes,
you're a manager of the tavern?"
yes. In many ways, I make sure drinks are taken care of, and I make sure that our two employees, Dilbert and Gilbert, are
Wait, you have employees?
yes.
Hot damn, my boy's a manager. That's impressive. You've done all of this in such a short time. That's good. That's good, Olan. I'm proud of you. Uh, uh, Tell me more about this job. Do you have a minute?
I have all the time in the world. I do believe that I was supposed to. I told Chauncey that I was going to help him with the apple cider. If you don't mind, You keep on working. Enjoy your coffee. I'm gonna help Chauncey with the apple cider, and then we can have a grand old time catching up. Okay?
Oh, all right. I mean, if you want, I mean, I could take a break. It's all right. Here, let me help. And he actually stops doing what he's doing. And this is like the first time that you've honestly seen your dad kind of like step away from work. Like you've always felt like your dad puts work above his family, but this is like the first time that like he's actually set aside his job and his duties as a lord to put you first. And you just feel like that your time's worth his time. He just unfortunately has been misplacing it. And you and he walk into the kitchen, and Chauncey's sitting there, stirring the apple cider, and he says, "Ah, my lords, come. Do you need any snacks? Would you like me to make you a sandwich? Would you like me to
Damn
get you some cups? Do you need a stool? What can I help you with?"
Chauncey, I came in here to help you, man. What do you need help with? Do
Oh,
you need help with the cider? Do you
yes.
want a sandwich? Have you eaten yet?
He says, "No, sir. I have not eaten. I typically do not eat at this hour. I
Well,
usually eat later." And yeah, so like for like the next like
damn.
15 to 20 minutes, you guys are in the kitchen just kind of chit chatting and talking and working on making this apple cider, and it turns out amazing. It's not too hot, and it's not too sugary and sweet and cinnamony. Everything is like the perfect amount. John knows how to make himself some apple cider, especially on a cold winter's night. And at the end of it, your dad he turns to you and he says, "Son, I'm honestly really impressed with how far you've come in such a short period of time. I honestly figured that me throwing you out was well, to be honest, was a bit harsh.
no, it
It
was
was
actually the best thing you actually could have done for me.
no,
Um,
no, it was mean. It was mean and cruel.
Dad, Dad,
And
I am your middle child. Out of the youngest and the oldest of your children, I'm the only one that did not actually adhere to any of the lessons that anyone actually taught us. I stayed at the house the longest. I was constantly coming to you for money, and
you
I
were
didn't grow up.
that's true.
And I can honestly say that I've been adhering to the lessons that the Black Staff has taught me. I've tapped into uh, the magics that reside within our family. I've discovered that I may not have your type of sorcery, but I have mom's sorcery.
You
So,
do remind me of your mother.
yep. But yeah. Other than that, Dad, I'm okay. And it was a good thing that what you did. I had friends then. I didn't
That's
have any
good.
friends. But like I
Um,
said, there's a thing about this treasure. I said I was going to tell you later. But yeah, me and my friends, we've found uh, the Never Ember treasure.
what do you intend to do with this?
Well, Vernier wants to give his portion, the portion of it, a good portion of it to the people. I do know that there is a reward for it, and whatever my group gets and whatnot, we have discussed about splitting it. And I honestly wanted to get your help with some investments and investing my money that I would receive as a reward possibly for it in the right way so I can make my money grow.
Well, if that is something that you're interested in, depending on whatever reward you get, I'm sure I can assist you in coming up with lucrative means to continue to increase your income, as one would say. Financial investments are always a wise decision. Um, have you ever thought about buying into this tavern that you work in? That might yield a bit of income that comes your way.
I
Um,
mean, I have. I've thought about it. I've received a partnership from someone that they were gifted to me. So I mean, I don't see why not trying to buy everyone else out, and
I'm
then
not
it becomes
saying buy everyone else out. I'm just saying that your father
well, buy.
didn't get where he is today without spending money on things that he knew would financially give him money in return.
Okay.
You invest in something that makes a substantial amount of income, and that way, let's say $1,000 you put into one thing ends up, yes, not being 1,000 the next month, but is, say, a couple of hundred gold here. Well, in 10 months, that 1,000 that you invested into that company turns into that 1,000 and you've made your money back. Now, every single month that goes by after that is a substantial amount of income that you can continue to pull in off of that initial investment. But if you were a wise individual, you wouldn't have spent any of that and you continue to invest back into your business, increasing the income flow that goes to you as time goes on, thus continuing the cycle. And once you make enough, you can make another investment and another.
Olan is just sitting there frivolously taking notes as his father is saying this
It
stuff.
says, how do you think this house and all of your brothers and sisters and you were able to afford such luxuries? Do you think that I went out and shoveled shit all day just so I could get to this point? No. I mean, I did start shoveling shit, don't get me wrong. Don't tell anyone. But that was my first job. I took what income I made and I stowed it away. And once I made enough, I bought myself a small shoe cobbling business. And then from there, it slowly started to rise into the Reese family that you know today. Now, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't have gotten where I have today without your grandfather and your grandfather's grandfather. They paved the way for the Reeses. But nonetheless, everyone starts somewhere. And you're
Yeah.
starting off strong, son. I'm proud of you. But
Thanks,
look,
Dad.
it's getting late, and I do have a bit of work to do, and it's
But
starting to
I
get
do
past my bedtime.
I do have a question.
Ah, yes. Takes a sip
Is
off
it
of his apple cider.
is it all possible if I can spend the night tonight?
You're more than welcome to sleep here, my son.
Thank you, Dad. And in the morning I can make y'all some breakfast.
Oh, don't worry about it. I have a strict diet that I have to adhere to now.
Uh,
Doctor's orders.
okay, Pops. Well, you get some rest, and I'll see you in the morning.
All right. Good night.
Good night.
And he gives you a big hug, and he um he walks back to his study to close the door. And after about 20 to 30 minutes of him being in there, he eventually goes, turns out all the lights, and he heads off to sleep. So we're gonna go ahead and hope it's okay, but we're gonna end your role play.
In my thing.
Huh?
I said in mine, and let's go to Giacomo.
Yep. Giacomo, you ready?
Yep.
So it's late in the evening, and all of your friends have one by one steadily filed out of the tavern, not to return for the night. Um, you would have heard that uh, through the grapevine, Ogden has made his way out of the tavern and probably will not be returning for the next month or so.
Okay.
You've heard that Olan wished to go see his father, that Lesra has left for the night, and Misty, as usual, is missing for the night. So it's you and a couple of other patrons walking around in the tavern. Dilbert and Gilbert um, are still left in Troll Skull Manor. Uh, what's up, babe? You okay? Your tooth. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. She's trying to give me a kiss. Love you. No PDA in front of the public. You
Ew, it was so gross.
Nobody asked you, Wes. Give me 1 second, everybody. My son is throwing a fit because he doesn't want to go to sleep, and it's a school night.
Do we want to take a break?
Yeah, let's take a. Is it okay if we take a break and we come back and we
10 minutes?
jump? Yeah, man.
By the way, the entire time that Olan was having a conversation,
Resolving
I
daddy
was-
issues.
yeah, I was robbing the house.
Hilarious.
They're downstairs making apple cider, and you're upstairs stealing daddy's.
just stealing everything.
Just stealing all of his financial assets. Where's my grandfather's 10,000 gold piece bracelet
Yep.
given to him by the king of Faerun?
Yep.
The freaking deed to the Reese family mansion's gone. The crown jewels.
New signature in Misty's real name, but no one's ever figured it out. Only the daddy knows.
Yeah, I was just stealing everything.
All right, so you were explaining that the night had wound down. Basically, all of my friends had left the tavern except for Gilbert, Dilbert, and a few patrons. And
Yes,
it's a cold, lonely night.
The night is dark and full of terrors.
So I think, Giacomo would be sitting at the tavern counter, and he would say to Dilbert,
Hey, I know that I haven't really asked much of you. Because, well, to be honest with you, I think you're more like a friend than you are a member of the staff. And I mean that sincerely, of course.
I tip my hat and I say to Dilbert,
What's the big idea with no one wanting to stay around with old Giacomo? And before you answer, would you be so kind as to pour me some of the last resort?
I don't see why not, Giacomo. Sure. Let me get on that. And he goes over and reaches to the highest shelf that he can reach. Goes over and plucks this bottle, this old-looking moonshine bottle. And
Wait, before you pour, I think it's time I pull out the special glasses.
and I reach down into my pouch and I pull out two, wait for it, hollowed out nut holes.
oh my god.
Call it back to our Thursday game. I take these two thimble-sized acorn-looking nut holes and have them on my index finger and my middle finger, and I say,
Now, we drink. Onesies or twosies?
Wait, you expect me to drink?
Well, I mean, if you won't, I'll drink your portion, but you still need to call it out. Onesies or twosies?
Twosies.
Okay.
so I take my two fingers and put them on the bar counter like I'm walking with a little finger puppet man, and I walk the two acorn nuts shot glasses on my fingertips over to the last ride bottle, and I click the bottle with the nut hole and I say,
Oh, well, it looks like Poppet's getting a little bit thirsty.
and after I say pop it, I kind of sniffle and drag my hand across my snotty face, and I take my fingers out of the shot glasses and kind of wave my hand in a gesture and manner for Dilbert to pour some.
And there he goes over and he grabs the clay container and he starts to pour out the last resort into these two thimble-sized acorn shells. And he after he pours them out and into the thimbles, he looks at you and corks it and he says, you don't mind if I drink, do you?"
Well, of course not. As a matter of fact, I insist.
And I take, my finger and just kind of casually slide one across the bar closer to him.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
I say,
What shall we drink to, Gilbert?
our mothers.
God rest her soul.
Yeah. Well, my mom was killed.
Wait a minute. Your mummy was killed too?
Yeah.
I
Mine
guess
and
it goes to
Gilbert's.
show I really haven't had much time around Trollskull to get to know you better. I'm so sorry, chap.
It's all right. My mom used to be a very adventurous type.
Well, was she a warrior?
No.
When you say adventurous, and I mean this with the most respect, are you talking about a woman of certain rapport?
No, she was never happy with what she had. She always wanted more. And my papa, he was a man with many tastes. He was never happy with being here, stuck in the city. He felt like we were trapped rats.
Well, I can tell reading between the lines that you and your brother Gilbert must have basically all but raised yourself.
We were orphans
I'm an orphan!
till
Stop it! No way! Are you serious?
yeah.
Who did you get adopted? Do you have new mummies and daddies?
Well, no. We were taken in and brought into a kind of a collection of misfits.
Oh, I know exactly what that's about. You see, well, I don't want to cut you off. I'll share my story after you share your story. But I will say this, Gilbert. I suddenly feel like you and well, maybe your grumpier, quieter cook of a brother, Gilbert, are, well, shall we say, kindred spirits.
and I lift my glass of last resort, as I say, kindred spirits, and I get ready to toss it back, and I say,
Oh, excuse me, poor form. To our mothers.
and I take the shot back quickly, and then slam the acorn shot glass empty down on the bar counter.
He does the same, but he looks like he has like this very disappointed kind of like sad demeanor over his face, kind of wash over, and he says, "Sorry, I really shouldn't talk about it."
Well, would it help if I talk about my story? Maybe take the weight off of yours a little?
I'd prefer if you did most of the talking.
Well, okay. I'm certainly not a stranger to that. As a matter of fact, please tell me to shut up if I ramble on too long. Normally, Misty's here to help me out with that. Oh, and that new woman, Lesra. She's a rather snot-faced parole officer if I've ever seen one. Even Upton could give in to my jib every now and then. Well, I digress. You see, I'm not much more different than you, other than the fact that I'm a little taller and darker.
And pointing out the fact that I'm a half drow. And I say,
I never knew my mom. Yes, I don't have any memory of her. The only memory I really have is, well, my dad, Geppetto, that's right. He's a big, jolly, barrel-chested man who runs the Waterdavian traveling circus of gypsies. And, well, I guess as so the story goes, he found me in my mother's arms, and she was all bloodied and battered, laying in an alleyway somewhere. Down in the dock ward, I think. This place is scum. But I think the real problem is because people are just so poor. So anyway, he took me in and he raised me, just like a son. And even though I was a dark elf and despised by the public, he found a way for me to fit in. Yes, you see, people come to the circus to see all the freaks. So when you said that you and your brother were part of a band of misfits, I too am a part of a band of misfits. I was trained in all sorts of things, you know, just to be funny. Take the edge off. No one likes to talk to a drow, even one who's half drow. And well, as honest as the day I was born, and I swear this to you, my friend, I've never set foot in the Underdark. And really, up until a couple of months ago, I had never even met another drow. Isn't that crazy?
He looks at you and he's like pouring another shot of last resort for him and you, and he looks at you and he says, That's really odd.
What, that I haven't seen a drow? Or that you and I have more in common than we first thought?
And like puts the shot glass up to his face and goes, both, and then takes a big swig. It's like, whoa.
Well, I can tell maybe it is starting to get to you. If you and your brother would like to stay here, feel free to, well, you can either take my room, or, well, Upton is gone. I won't tell him if you won't tell him. You can sleep in the old priest quarters. But, yes, you see, it's rather strange. I've kind of come to the point in my life, you see, where I've collected friends. And I just want to see everyone happy and well. And I don't know if you've had your ear to the street like mine, but the buzz about this treasure has got my skin burning. You do know about the treasure, right?
The treasure, and he's like, kind of giving you that notion of like, not really. Like he's heard of some treasure, but he doesn't know which one you're specifically talking about.
Oh, well, goodness. It's a really long story, but it's made real short by telling you this. One of them, Richie Poos, who used to be a member of the Lord's Alliance and one of the 9 masked lords of Waterdeep, well, he got outed for some naughty business. I think some say it was embezzling. Yes, that's right.
About Lord Neverember's Vault of Dragons?
Yes.
I've heard of that one.
That's right. The Vault of Dragons.
And my eyes grow wide and glittery as he's saying this. And I'm starting to get a little bit drunk from this shot of the last resort and loose-lipped. And I say,
you should count yourself lucky, my friend. Not only do you get to work at the Troll Skull Manor, the only haunted tavern in Waterdeep, and you get to have Giacomo as a friend, but soon you'll be able to tell others that you're friends with the legendary band of adventurers who discovered the lost Vault of Dragons.
You like say this like all grandiose, and you're kind of like chuckling about it and being bolsterous, and you hear a few people go, like a couple of people in the tavern go, what? You found the Vault of Dragons?
No, of course not. Go back to your drinks, nosy nuns.
Many people have tried to find the Vault of Dragons, and a lot of people end up dead.
Well, none of them.
You just don't know. You just don't know. You're just better off. Just you know.
I start to get a little frustrated that everybody's so drunk they can barely keep up with the story, including myself. And I take a bow after hopping up from the bar stool, I hiccup a little, and I look at Dilbert, and I say,
Well, I think I'm going to turn in for the night. Like I said, feel free to stay here if you wish. It's cold outside. And don't forget to lock up if you do leave. And remember, last call is in a couple of hours. We can't have Billy Boy over there all day and all night. Well, they'll shut us down, those nosy magistrates with their rules about drinking hours. Good night, Gilbert. Good night, Dilbert.
and I would make my way up to my room and sit down on the edge of the bed. And as I do, I feel the lump of the Stone of Galore in my coin purse that's tied with the string on the side of my sash that holds my pants up.
Mm-hmm.
And I instantly remember that I have the stone. Like, I had basically conveniently forgotten with all the excitement. And I pick up the bag, and it feels like it's 100 pounds. And I slowly uncinch the velveteen cord that ties the bag closed, and pour the contents, coins and all, into my hand, and the coins trickle down past my fingers, and then this potato-sized lump of a stone with the 3 eyes lands in the palm of my hand. And I look down at the stone, and I say,
You know, I haven't known you very long, but you've gotten me in a whole heap of trouble, even more than Misty, and she's one tricky cat. And I'm not quite so certain that you're not the reason why no one wants to be around me. Everyone's gone tonight, and I don't have anyone to talk to.
and I start to get a little weepy, and I put the stone down on the side of my pillow, and I lay down facing the stone, looking at it with a stern face, and with my eyes open, and I'm like,
I'm watching you, but know this, Galore. I will get the last laugh.
Well, real quick, I was going to mention this earlier. I still can't get a good night's sleep if this stone is by me, correct?
Correct.
All right. I will Istrid or Mr. Horn.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to leave Mr. Horn in my room, and I will go to one of my sleeping spots. Far away from...
that's going to be a real great surprise in the morning when I go knock on your door and there's a strange dwarvish man laying in your bed.
Uh-huh. I'm a little promiscuous. But yeah, I would know that I can't sleep there, especially with that I'm exhausted.
Okay.
I would go to one of my sleeping spots.
All right. Well, all of you, please have your characters take a long rest.
Whew. Oh, we actually get one?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
So I'm not exhausted anymore?
Your exhaustion would go away.
Okay, cool. Dink.
So
Screw you, exhaustion.
are we like fast forwarding to the next morning?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
We're going to, so all of you wake up, and all of you, are in your respective places, and you decide it's better to all meet up back at Troll Skull Manor.
Yeah, I mean, I would be back in the morning. That's kind of my routine.
When you get back, Olan would be the one that would be awake before everybody else. And he's kind of downstairs doing what exactly? What would Olan be doing exactly, Ryan?
Olan is making waffles and pancakes.
Um,
Whatever meat they have is in that oven baking.
so y'all have a bit of protein, but it's more so pork right now than anything.
So bacon.
Hmm.
Okay, so cool. I'm making bacon.
Roll me a survival check.
Oh God.
This is great.
Yeah,
Oh
that's the
God.
last thing we need is vomity stomachs eating bad bacon.
I mean, I ate dead bodies, so
That's
I don't
true.
care.
I'm gonna roll perception to see if I smell the bacon and the pancakes being made and wake up.
And what Leslie would have come back first thing in the morning.
Okay. So, Olan, like I said, roll me a survival
I
check.
got
Everybody else roll
a
me a perception check.
15, sir.
Okay.
Everyone else roll what?
Perception check.
Okay.
11. Giacomo's probably still asleep.
It's an 8 for me.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like an 8. Looked like an 18, but
Lesra got a what, an 18?
it was a 5.
Yeah, she got an 18.
So, Giacomo, besides Olan, you're the next person to wake up, and you make your way down, and you smell this fragrance of bacon being fried and what smells like pancakes and syrup being drizzled on top of each other, and you get this fruity aroma that kind of wafts its way into the dining hall. And you take a seat, and you can hear the sizzling sounds of bacon in the back in the kitchen. And a couple of hours goes by, about an hour, not even, maybe 30 minutes. And that's when uh, Lesra comes walking in, and she's appears to be very well rested, and eyes are very wide and open, and there seems to be a bit of snow that has perched its way on her right shoulder and has not seemed to have melted yet. And then another 10 minutes goes by, and Misty um, comes walking in.
Am I alone?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Her
Oh,
fur
okay.
has snow kind of collected on it here and there, uh, and her ears kind of flicker back and forth as they kind of catch the sounds of chairs and tables and the sound of fire kind of flickering in the background. And all of you kind of collect by the bar, um, and that's when Olan walks out with this massive plate of pancakes and bacon and what appears to be some type of like juice thing. It's like a watered down lemonade. So it's like
Yeah,
lemon water, but like watered
it's
down.
like lemon. Let's just say go with this. It's like what? It's lemonade. It's lemonade.
I believe they call it agua fresca.
There we go. That is a pretty good name for it.
Gross.
Well, I
Um,
hope you all are ready for some breakfast.
Well,
We have a
you
mighty
certainly
dinner.
didn't have to, but I guess after the night that Gilbert and Dilbert had, they probably were a little bit late starting the kitchen this morning, huh?
Oh no, I was the
um,
first person awake. I had breakfast over at my dad's house this morning,
Oh,
and
you
we
went and saw
decided to
your
just
daddy?
so
yeah.
because of the how everything kind of works in the tavern, Dilbert and Gilbert know that the only time that like their shift is basically supposed to start at 10, and their shift ends around 10. So they work for like 12 hours a day. And is everything okay? I heard somebody say hello.
Oh, I gotta go tuck in Lily here for a few. I'll be back in a minute.
Yeah. Um So those of you would know that Dilbert and Gilbert's working hours are from basically 10 to 10. And if they choose to work past 10, that's only because of the fact that they want to make a little extra coin. Because Dilbert makes his pay really in tips. And Gilbert's the one that actually really kind of collects that 10 gold a work week. So but nonetheless, you all sit down and you eat your breakfasts and you kind of get yourselves together, and it's a lovely breakfast. He made these nice fluffy pancakes and these super rich hearty bacon, these thick cut pieces of bacon, and all of you kind of sit there, and all of you would know that around, I would say, 1 o'clock is when you're all supposed to meet in the yawning portal to meet with Bonnie and to meet with the players and the singers, to kind of go and head and make your way towards the city of the dead. So you've got a couple of hours until that time. Is there anything that any of you wish to say or do at all?
Did Horn come down? Horn didn't come down with me.
After about an hour of you kind of going and doing your thing first, a dwarven man with this bright red hair, and big nose and great big facial stash and everything like that would steadily make their way into Troll Skull, and he would go over and sit by the fire, kind of staring into the fire, and just hang out, and order himself a beer, and just sit there and listen to stories and just talk to people. And you would know that that's Horn, just
Okay.
kind of doing her thing, hiding away and being all stealthy.
Yeah. Okay. Just making sure that she didn't die in my room.
No,
Just um yeah, okay. Yeah, that's all. I just wanted to make sure that she was okay.
yeah, she's okay. Um, so you all kind of kind of nestle in and make your way over to the door, and you collect your things. And would any of you like to flag down a carriage?
Real quick too,
Sorry, you dropped out right there. What?
I'd like to message Horn and just go, "Did you lock the door or how'd you get out?"
She would say, I locked the door, and it was easy. I'll be here every day, all day.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure because normally the door has a big, uh, block of, like a 2x4 on it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's fine as long as she locked it.
Um, you all get your jackets on and you make your way out into the snow, and then down the kind of alleyway to the main street. And there, off in the distance, you can see a rather large black carriage with these four almost metal metallic like wheels, and four horses in front of it, with one one kind of carriage driver. And you guys kind of wave him down, and he kind of perks up and looks over at where all of you are, and he immediately steers the horses towards all of you and stops in front of you and looks at all of you and says, "So, where are you going?"
Yawning portal, my good man.
All right, I'll make sure you get there in time for whatever it is you need. Um, so, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 gold, please.
I'll give him 2 gold.
All right, to the yawning portal it is. And you see him kind of pull on the reins, and as he does, the horses start to move forward, and you guys are off. You're in there for about 30 minutes. The streets are filled with people, even though that it's cold and freezing. The sky is brightly lit. There's only a handful of clouds in the sky. The lights piercing down and hitting the snow, and it looks like thousands of little diamonds casted across the ground. This ice is building up on houses, making large icicles starting to form. The ice is kind of crusted up on windows, leaving this massive film of ice and snow all across each window, making it almost impossible to see in. Um, People sit kind of underneath the recesses of each house with the hopes of not getting hit by falling snow or debris, smoking pipes, and curling up close in their winter apparel. You see people laughing and giggling and moving along. A couple of people here and there throwing snowballs at each other, completely unaware of really the chaos that this city is under with all of this crime that's been committed. And you finally see yourself approaching the yawning portal, this mecca, this massive tavern that's located in this beautiful city that you've come to know and love. And you pull up, and a couple of people come stumbling out of the yawning portal. One individual, so drunk that they stumble and fall butt first into a large mound of snow, and the whole time they are just laughing hysterically. And their two friends kind of come up, and one grabs him by the collar, and the other one grabs him by the arm, and they pull him up, and his shirt instantly gets ripped from the guy pulling his shirt to try and pull him up. And he looks up at his friend and goes, "Hey, that's not very nice." And his friend says, "It's okay. We'll get you another one out of the dumpster." And the guy looks at him and goes, "Okay, that's where I got this one from." And they like just start laughing.
I got. I'll help out, but I rolled an 18 sleight of hand to steal whatever he has.
You steal about 4 silver.
Nice.
You like reach into his back left pocket, and you're like, here, let me help. And he like the guy's like, yeah, thanks. Um, Tonight was a lot of fun. Definitely made some new friends, and definitely lost a lot of money. You shouldn't bet on people going in the hole. They never come back. And next thing you guys walk up to the front door, and you of the yawning portal, and you open up the doors, and it's just like a whole nother world inside of this tavern. There's dozens of people just walking around, people on each floor, each story. And it's just that yawning portal feeling, music being played in the background, the sounds of conversation being had, high and low, all over. Dwarves sitting at different tables, drinking and eating, and a couple of halflings sitting off on the side talking. Another group of what appears to be adventurers planning out an expedition somewhere and talking with another person. You've got Durnan sitting behind the bar, kind of pouring a drink to another customer and talking to him. You've got Maloon sitting in the chair, just kind of gossiping and talking and whatnot to himself. Like Maloon's fucking crazy. You guys all know it. I ain't gotta sugarcoat it. Um, and in the back corner, usually sitting in the same spot that he always sits, is Rainier. Rainier sits there with a rapier kind of placed openly out on the table, and a dagger kind of drawn out. And sorry, excuse me, yawning. And the dagger is sheathed directly.
Like a young reporter.
Yep. And he's sitting there eating what appears to be some cheese and bread. Um, and he's drinking out of a large flagon of frothy ale. And there's what appears to be four silver pieces just openly displayed on the table for Bonnie whenever Bonnie comes around.
So we see Rainier sitting at this table, like we're fully aware of where he's at.
Yeah, he always sits
All right.
in the same spot.
So
It's kind of like this table.
Giacomo would nod over at Misty and say,
Follow my lead. I think you're okay. But let's get this show on the road, okay?
and I sort of jump
I'm
and
never okay in this place.
I jump and click my heels together, and then I kind of walk over excitedly and slide myself without even asking into Rainier's booth.
Yeah, so
Good morning, Rainier. How are you today? Are you excited to see your friends? And
as you're saying this, he's got like a little lump of cheese, like this kind of square rectangular bar of cheese.
Before he can take a bite of it, I snatch it from him. I'll roll a sleight of hand on it too.
No, it's okay. You take it. There's
So
like,
I grab the cheese and I pluck it in my mouth, and I'm talking like chomping on the cheese, and I'm like,
This is really some choice cheese, Rainier. Hold on. You got anything to go with that?
and I reach across the table and see he's got the mug of ale, and I pick it up and take a big frothy sip of his ale mug.
What are you doing?
Oh my god.
Oh, so sorry about that. Well, it's okay. I'll get more. Have you seen Bonnie?
You see him sit back in his chair, and he kind of like rubs his hands together and gets whatever debris and leftover cheese crumbs off of his hands, and he just like sits back in his booth, and he looks back at you and he says, "Well, yes, I have seen
Well,
her."
good. Aren't you excited? Today's the day.
I was pretty excited until you stole my favorite piece of cheese.
Hey, listen up here, bucko. If we get connected with the things we need to today, and we can really get this whole thing cracked open, well, you'll have more cheese than what you'll know to do with.
You mean the city?
Finder's fees, of course. You could spare at least a block or two, maybe a year's supply.
Giacomo, the only reason why I'm doing this is because you've promised me that this money would go to the city.
Of course it's going to go to the city. Of course. But we must account for some expenses. And, well, seeing as you've just started taking a tally, 1 cheese cube and 1 glass of ale it is.
He starts to laugh. He's like, Giacomo, if I didn't know you, you'd be so insulting. But it's okay. I like your personality, and you've done a lot for this city. And I can look past your
It's poor manners, I know. I didn't grow up well.
Yeah. I was trying to be nice.
No, you can call a spade or a drow, or even worse, a fool like old Giacomo a fool. I know it.
Sometimes you're like really rude and
Ooh,
And sometimes you're like
rude.
really, yeah, you're like really rude. Like what you just did right there by taking my cheese and drinking my drink, and you just kind of, you didn't even say hi. You just came up and you just took it. Like,
I lean over and get like awkwardly close to his face where like almost our noses are touching, and my eyes widen and I say, but I just can't help it. I'm so excited about this treasure. I get hungry when I get excited.
well, then order yourself something.
Well, that's why I asked for Bonnie, because one cheese cube isn't enough.
All right. Well, let me see what I can do. And he like looks around, and Bonnie's off in the distance, like helping another table. And she eventually makes eye contact with y'all's table.
Before
and
she
y'all
comes
find-
over, I would look at Rainier and say,
Well, I don't want to talk too much, of course, especially without my friend here to speak up for himself. But there's a certain someone, you know who, if you will, someone that your people might rub elbows with, if that gives you a clue. Well, this particular person, well, they have the fancies for Bonnie. But you didn't hear it from old Giacomo, right?
and I wink at him.
He laughs. He says, "You telling me that Rainier over here has a big crush for our trusty old waitress?"
No, not Rainier. Of course,
not
you know who I'm talking about, don't you?
Olan. You're talking about Olan.
Well, you said
I'm
it out
Rainier.
loud, not me.
Oh my gosh. Come on, come now, man. Don't you know?
Play cool.
All right, fine. And she like comes over and she says, "All right, what will you all be getting?" And
Uh,
she like looks over at Olan and she says, "Hey, you,
Hey, how you doing, doggy?
doing good? Do you want anything?"
I'm fine. I had a good big old breakfast today, so I'm doing all right now. But if
Oh,
I need anything, I'll let you know.
all right. So did you still want to do that thing later today?
I kick Olan
Yeah,
underneath the table.
um, today, well, not or date, not today. But if you
Okay,
want
y'all
to, we
set it
can.
up. You guys set it up so that way y'all were gonna like hang out, so that way y'all could take her to the city of the dead today.
Oh, that's right. Well, yes, we are going to do that today. And also, while we're on the way there, I want to talk to you about some stuff. Well, better yet, we're all right here, anyways. Um, Rainier, can I talk? Can I tell her? And I lean into Rainier. Can I tell her, Rainier?
He looks at you and says, "Tell her what?"
Um, he found a treasure.
Oh, you're talking about the treasure? Oh, look,
Yeah.
everybody already knows by now. And like that's when you guys kind of like all need to roll me perception checks. Like y'all are all like you kind of like he says that, and as he says that, you kind of like take a glance around and you look around at all the other tables, and it's not like everybody's looking at you, but you're noticing a couple of people are looking at you.
I got an 18.
I
Yeah,
was
like
at nat 20 to 23.
so anyone above like a 15 or higher would immediately know and see that there are probably 20 or 30 people that are oddly looking at you and glancing in your direction. And then there's like whispers and things, and you hear a couple of people say, "Those are the people that think that they found the treasure."
I would personally just assume that they're looking at me because they're me in here.
Yeah, like that's completely understandable. Like you're like, "Oh, they're all looking at me because I'm a convicted criminal." No,
Yeah.
they're looking at you because of the fact that they've heard the stories. Like you can kind of think Rainier, and you can kind of think Lesra for the spread of everything. Like every time
Mhm.
you guys have talked to somebody, that person has literally spoken to someone else. And Rainier kind of looks at you and goes, "Look, I I'm sorry, but I told some people, and I think those people have told some people, and I think those people have told everybody else."
So, Bonnie, do you know about the treasure?
She looks at you and she says, "Yes, I know about the treasure. Mm, What does that have to do with our date?"
Um,
Good luck with that one, buddy.
Yeah, way to go.
Oh my god, my
Dipshit.
dog just farted, dude. It is
Ah.
so bad.
Hilarious.
so
Oh,
when it comes to a date,
ah.
we're gonna have a working date, if you would, possibly. And I would like it if you could possibly come with us and partake in the adventure of a lifetime. And I promise that I will share some of whatever like the city gives us for finding the gold with you.
I cast
Also,
guidance on Olan so he can roll a persuasion check.
Okay. Roll a persuasion check. And you get to add a D4 to that.
D4.
a D4.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hey, Tommy, next time you see Colton and whatnot, tell him thank you for separating all of my dice. I appreciate that.
So,
Like, legit. All right, so that is. You say persuasion, so that's 15,
God,
16,
this
17,
dog's fart is still lingering.
220. That's going to be a 23 on persuasion, my brother.
Nice. 23, you said?
So she looks at you and she's, well, I mean, what's work without a little pleasure, right? She seems a little disappointed, but she's not, against the idea of getting to go hang out while y'all are doing whatever you're doing. Um,
I look at her. I say, I promise I'll make this up to you 100 times over.
so you all collectively link up with everyone that you need to, and it's around 2 o'clock. Who's gross? I'm not gross.
No, no, not you. I can't believe you heard that.
Yeah, I heard it.
It wasn't about you.
Now it was totally about me. Now I know it was about me. I'm joking. um, so you all meet up, and the bagpipe players. Let me just check to make sure because I have everything written down. Um, where's my book? There it is. Oh, that's a different book. Ah.
Oh, I saw your message, Wes.
Mm-hmm.
Ew.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever. I've completely misplaced my other book, so I'm just gonna have to use my small book to take my notes tonight. Um. Um. So all of you collect yourselves, and the dwarven man shows up with his bagpipe, and he says, "Well, I'm here. I'm ready to go do and play whatever it is you need me to do today. Um, Bonnie, she goes and she goes up to Durnan and she says, Durnan, is it okay if I step away and leave a little early today? And he's like, I can't have you leaving early today, Bonnie, but I can have you kind of um take like a 2 or 3 hour break. Like if you go do whatever it is you need to do and just come on back and finish up the rest of your hours later today, that'd be fine. And she goes, okay, thank you, Durnan. And he says, always a pleasure, Bonnie, always a pleasure.
I'll
um
I'll I'll flip Durnan a gold piece
he catches it and he puts it
for
in.
for her time.
Yeah, he looks at you and he says, thank you, mighty kind. Just this doesn't this doesn't earn back what she'd be earning me every hour, but the thought's a kind gesture. And
All right, we'll give it back then.
he says, there's a single gold finder's fee. Oh, look, looks like I got to keep it now. Um, he he like smiles at you and puts it back into his this like kind of metal coin um like container that he kind of keeps gold coins in, like underneath the bar, and he kind of slides it back down. He winks at you. He says, Misty, don't do anything I wouldn't do now.
I'll just say under my breath, that's okay. I'll get that money back later.
Sure you will, Misty. And that's when all of you kind of tighten up your scars and tighten up your hoodie, like your hoods and your jackets and your armor, and kind of just kind of get all of your ducks in a row, and you make your way out the front door, and you make your way towards the city of the dead.
Yay!
An hour passes, and you arrive. You find yourself at the massive gated structure known as the City of the Dead, a sacred place, a hallowed place of the deceased, the past and not forgotten, the final resting place of the majority of the city. Those who can do attempt or try to be buried here out of sacred right and privilege. The party walks through the city of the dead. Bonnie is a little taken back as to why y'all are in the city of the dead, but she respects it. She's not really asking too many questions. She's like, besides like, so why are we here?
I'm gonna be
I'm all right.
honest, Dean, I really don't remember everything. I just remember that the treasure is here.
Well,
To be honest with you.
we need a shifter.
I wouldn't have said it like that, Misty.
She looks at you and she says,
No, I'm not. No, I'm
You-
just saying. I'm reminding you. I'm out. Carriage. I'm gone. Every time we go into this place, I leave before we even make the make it into the gate.
Mhm. So she's asking the party, whoever's present, she goes, so why are we here?
I was just reminding you all why we need her because shifter.
Well, Olan, do you want to take that one?
Well, maybe your silver tongue friend should take over.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna level with you, Bonnie. You and I have known each other for a number of years, right?
A couple. I mean,
And, well, Three Strings and I, we have a good thing going. We're fellow rivals and friends, and he counts me as trustworthy, right?
right.
Okay, well, let's just put it all out there since my friend Olan, the helpless romantic he is with the big mouth, couldn't keep it close to the chest. It all goes down like this. We found out about the vault because I've got this thing that tells me stuff. And when we got here, we couldn't get inside because it's protected by some hoogie boogie. And well, that hoogie boogie requires a never ember to be with us. And so, me, yours truly, of course, and the rest of the gang, along with Rainier, went into his family's crypt. After we got past the magical enchantment that prevented us from getting in on our own. We made our way down inside, deep, 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 and we came to an impasse, if you will. A big, vaulted gate. Can't squeeze through, can't lift it up. And there were these things on the floor that required a magical effect to open. Well, remember earlier when I said that I have a thing that talks to me and tells me things? Well, my head got all bezoomy and swirled around with the most crazy idea. Well, and, you might not believe me, but it's true, of course, and my friends will vouch for me. The thing told me that we needed a big old hog butt pile the size of gems, and we needed, a song, a dwarven epic, which is why they're here. And I kind of motion back with my thumb to point at the two dwarves that we hired. And then I'd say, the last requirement was that, we needed someone who was a changeling. And it showed me you. Yes, it showed me you. Truth be told, Bonnie, I never knew you were. I always thought you were just a brunette-haired young lass who worked at the tavern in New Durnan from girlhood. But I would have never suspected. Oh, it changes everything, of course, and, I don't really know what you really look like. But that's no matter, of course. Well, you see, I'm a little bit crazy, and I came up with an idea, of course, that, either me or Olan were going to ask you out on a date. And truth be told, it was a sincere agreement between the two of us because, Bonnie, frankly, I think you're a lovely lass. But after hearing how Olan felt about you, the only gentleman's thing to do was to help my friend to woo you. Yes, that's right, woo you into courtship. Because I don't think you would believe me if we just walked up and asked. So the plan originally was for Mr. Olan to take you out on a date, and for that date to somehow end up back at this vault, and for, during the course of that date, you to stand on this very particular square next to the bag of gold while two dwarven men sing a song. And so there it is, 100% honest.
So she starts to get angry. She starts to get angry and frustrated. And she looks over at you, Giacomo, with this pissed off look. And then she looks over at Olan.
Olan. Oh, no.
And she says, "Really? So all of this, the date, the whole being kind and sweet to me and caring and understanding was just so you could get me to stand on some rock that could kill me?"
I look at Olan for a second and then gulp.
Honestly, no, that's not it at all. The truth of it is, I actually have had a serious crush on you for the past 6 months, and I have been too actually chicken shit to say anything to you about it until the opportunity presented itself in such a way that Giacomo was actually able to help me, because when I'm around you, I freak the fuck out and I don't know what to fucking do or say. And that never actually happens. I am honestly always good with my with talking to people and everything like that. When it comes to you, Bonnie, I can't do anything. I freeze up. I freak the fuck out. I don't know what to do, and I genuinely do love you.
Shut up. Not for me. I've had her all day.
I want to
She
send
just looks
Bonnie.
at you
I want
like,
to send Bonnie a message
yeah.
and just go. Yeah, he's horrible with women.
And so literally, when you say all that, Ryan, she just looks at you and she's just like completely like flabbergasted and angry, and frankly just like kind of weirded out a little bit. You see a lot of discomfort kind of come over her, and she looks at you and she's like, I'm sorry, but that's not how I feel about you. Like our two worlds are completely different. Like you're going to school, you're human, and
Hmm.
I've got a family that I need to take care of. Like I don't feel that way about you. Like why didn't you just tell me in the beginning instead of just like leading me on and making me think all these things and getting me
I
excited
wasn't,
for
I
like all of this
wasn't
like
leading you on.
and
I wasn't
she's like, no,
leading
no, no,
you
I'm not done talking. I'm not done talking. Listen,
Shit.
listen. I understand, like everything. I understand you convincing me and trying to talk to me and get to know me. I understand that people do that all the time. But what I don't understand is why you just couldn't just be honest. Like I'm sorry, but like this just isn't going to work out between us. Not in the way that you and I don't I'm not leading you on. I wasn't ever leading you on. I was having fun and enjoying myself and getting to know you, but it's just the two of us, it's not going to work out the way you think it's going to work out. I have a whole life that I have to keep protected, and these children are more important than my own self. They're the future of my people, and they need guidance, and they just need someone that cares about them, and that's me. So look, all right, I'm not gonna get mad at you guys. I understand why you're doing what you're doing, but if you expect me to help you out with this, I expect something in return.
Well, of course, Bonnie Lass, of course. Look,
And I'm gonna try to persuade her. Genuinely, Giacomo is upset for upsetting her because he just kind of considered
Roll
the.
with disadvantage.
All right. Too bad I can't bardic inspiration myself.
I
Nope.
cast guidance on you.
I'll take it. Disadvantage +4 on persuasion. Let's see here. All right. And then 1d4. So it's a 12 plus a 1, so a 13. Crap!
So, what do you say to her?
So Giacomo is kind of like walking around her in a circle in a way, and he's just trying to be really casual, and he starts to get really emotive and like flail around and start to sob a little bit as he talks, and he's like,
everything my friend Olan said is true. And I readily admit, Bonnie, that the hijinks in the game and the deception, well, that's all on me. We should have just played it straight the whole time. But you see, there's so much gold and it's so dangerous. Well, the truth is, Olan really, really likes you. And while you have something to protect, he does too, but I can't share his secrets. I'll just say this. If you help us with this treasure, I know that the children you care for will never have to fear again. We will make sure of that.
and I get serious as I say that and kind of like declare with my fists like Giacomo and all of us are going to have her back and set them up with a good life, essentially.
She looks at you and she says, "Look, if I'm going to do this, it's not going to be something cheap. I expect at least 1,000 gold.
Done.
1,000 gold at least.
Done.
All right. If I'm risking my life, Better be for something. And that's when you guys get to the crypt. And you approach, and the large tree comes to life and looks at Rainier and says, "The Brandith family may enter." And you descend your way down through the crypt, weaving and winding and eventually making your way to this collapsed hallway where the two dwarves, Cletus and the other one that you haven't asked his name yet, descend down, and Bonnie descends with you. And as you approach this collapsed wall, they're like, "What are you doing? Don't you see it's collapsed?" And that's when you walk through, and they're like, "Holy fucking shit!" And you make your way down to this 20-foot by 20-foot tall room, a hallway that continues to descend down into the depths of the earth until you reach this location, this massive 20-foot by 20-foot adamantine wall with these massive dwarvish sigils etched onto the surface of this massive adamantine wall. These dwarves begin to almost drool. They're like, they literally say, this is magnificent. Look at the architecture and the sculpturing. Look at the runic work here. This is ancient. This is old. I don't know anyone that has ever seen such craftsmanship such as this. Um, and one of the dwarves steps up, and he points to the door, and he says, "That dwarvish says, the three keys. Bring them forth." I wonder what those three keys might be. Does anybody know what that might mean?
So Giacomo looks at the two dwarves and says,
Two of them are physical keys, and the last one is the grandest dwarven epic song you've ever made or played.
and I kind of gesture at the floor where we put the one bag of gems, or I guess we collected those back, and we're gonna.
Yeah, you collected it back. Do you guys? Okay. So one person has to stand on the left stone, one person has to stand in the middle, and or wherever, and you need to place the gems on one of these stones. So
I placed my sack of gems on the millstone.
okay,
And then
I put my gems on there as well.
all right.
And then Giacomo is going to stand on the left one, and I kind of motion with my hands for the two dwarves to step forward with their instruments.
So when they step forward with the bagpipes, and Bonnie steps up onto the pad, you notice that the runic etchings around each of these pads slowly starts to illuminate. And the moment like Bonnie steps on, this massive glow from beneath her feet emanates from this kind of set stone. And when the 1,000 gems are placed on this other stone, the stone kind of drops a little bit, and light kind of pours in through all of the gaps. And you step up, and you begin to sing this ballad. Do you have the ballad?
I do. So I I kind of massage my Adam's apple a little bit and clear my throat.
The bagpipe starts to play.
And a 1 and a 2 and a 3. Where it began, I can't begin to knowin', but then I know it's growing strong. Was in the spring, then the spring became the summer. Who'd have believed it grown so long?
Can I shoot him?
Beards, touching beards, reaching out, touching me, touching you, your beardy face. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Good beards never grew so good. So good. I'd be inclined. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
You slowly see
hate
his
right
pad
now.
illuminating, and as it does, and as he's getting
Oh
to
my
the
god.
end of this ballad, keep singing though, keep singing. The doors are slowly starting to open up.
So we're
I
off.
I hate that song so much.
But now I look at the mine, and it don't seem so lonely. We filled it up with only two, and when I smite, power flows out my shoulders. But how can I smite when holding you? Beards, touching beards, reaching
burned.
out, touching me.
I burned my friend's Neil Diamond CD because he'd get drunk and would play it all the time because he's in Boston. Ugh, I hate that song so much. It brings us so many bad memories.
If it helps, I had another one, but this is the one DM cursed me with.
Oh god.
Yeah.
There was a "You're Beautiful" James
took a
Blunt
lighter
version
to-
of it.
I took a lighter to the CD and he goes, "Man, what happened to my CD?" I said, "I don't know." And I'd burned made it for him. And
Oh,
then I
that's
took a lighter
awesome.
to it because he played it all the time. He goes, "Man, I don't know what happened." I took a lighter right to it.
That's mean.
There's easier ways to break a CD.
No, it was just no. Well, the point of like taking the lighter, we'd always go there drunk, and he would put it in the CD player. It didn't work.
That's hilarious. Well, hopefully that rendition of "Your Beardy Face" opened the vault.
It actually does. So
Nice.
the lights start to dim, and the runed etchings start to glow with this bluish hue, and the door slowly starts to open, and all of the lights kind of become at a matching frequency, and the doors slowly shudder and shake and grind as they slowly work their way back into the recesses. And that's when you see it. This strange opening, this very odd. That's not going to work. I got to use a square. This massive opened corridor opens up before you. Let me just get my count. Who has a torch?
Giacomo's got dark vision.
I know, but some of you are still human.
I have continual flame cast on my shield, so it's like having a torch.
Okay.
I mean, I have a torch. If someone needs one.
I also
Well-
have a torch if someone needs one.
Well, let's see. Continual flame counts as a torch. So let me go ahead and give you an aura. Who else is going to pick up a
I'll pick up a torch.
Okay.
Do you need a torch? I thought you were an elf.
He
Dude,
is-
I have dark vision up to 150 feet right now. I'm good.
150?
Not 150. No, I think it's 90 feet. My bad. I'm over exaggerating my shit.
What, man, I mean, 120 maybe.
120. My bad. Hold on. Let me check this out.
Like you want to take point, and I'll bring up the rear.
Yeah, 120 feet right now.
I mean, I'll go first.
Okay. I'll go after
All right.
you.
So those of you who would attempt to go in, please roll me perception checks. And then y'all have free control over your minis. So feel free to go in. The two dwarves are like, what the fuck?
Do I do a stealth first or perception?
If you would like to be quiet and stealthy, feel free.
Yeah.
The two dwarves, they're gonna freak out and then they're gonna leave because they're like, this is crazy.
All right.
What's
So
Bonnie
20,
do?
27
Bonnie looks at
stealth.
all of you and says, I expect my money.
26 stealth. Then I'll roll a
27.
perception.
She's gonna go with the dwarves.
Oh, she's gonna leave.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, she's done. She left. Then her 19 perception, and I will move in. Yeah. So 26 stealth. I'm not sure where. I mean, if I can really hide, but I will like
From what you can see, there's no real
here.
hiding places.
I mean, I'll like go in that far,
Okay.
and then
I'll,
yeah. What was my perception? My perception was it's
20,
pretty high.
my perception was at 15.
Okay. So
Mine was pretty high. It was like an 18 plus. It was like 20.
So-
Mine was a 9 and my stealth was a 27.
Lesra and Rainier can only see up to about here. Rainier is also going to he's gonna also use a torch.
Hey, buddy.
And he's gonna move up 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. But he's gonna try and be stealthy about it as well. So he's gonna roll a stealth check. He rolled trash. He rolled garbage.
I know I'm gonna roll garbage, but I'll roll a stealth check with that. I roll 7.
So when you
Oops,
guys enter, you see these
Didn't mean to roll twice.
massive stone doors. Each door is about 20 feet in length. And they have what appears to be these huge, huge, like full plate armored mannequins that are strapped to each one of these doors. And they, uh, as you approach them, these doors are just covered in dust and cobwebs, and the armor is like patinaed to like this, like almost like milky white appearance. Like all of the dust has settled in and just coated this armor. Like this entire location, it's
Hey,
been
bud.
years since this is actually like been opened. Olan, what are you going to do? Are you going to move forward? You're the only person that's kind of
I'm gonna
left.
move forward. I'm trying to log into the thing so I can move my character.
So are you talking about these things right here? Those are the armor?
Yep, these are the armors.
Okay.
So all of these like little what look like little
Uh-huh.
like white things. They're all
Yep.
suit of armors that are
Okay.
kind of like bolted to these large, massive doors.
Awesome.
And I can give you a little description of what you see. Um, 3 aged worn columns support crumbling stone. Um, the ceiling rises past your vision. Those of you with dark vision can see up to 60 feet. And you can see up 60 feet, and then past that is further darkness. Set into alcoves are 12 sets of double doors made of iron. Each door is 10 feet wide, 10 feet high, and embossed embossed with images of dwarven warriors in plate mail.
Hmm.
Now, as you travel further, how
Yeah,
go ahead.
I'm I'll move in. I'll move like here.
Just there?
Uh,
I'm gonna move here.
I was gonna wonder what that thing was in front of us.
This?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is a massive 10-foot by 40-foot column that ascends upward. And you see a flat surface at the edge of your vision that slowly starts to kind of level out a little bit, but on the edges, kind of like over here. And on this
Uh-huh.
side, it continues up further. It almost looks like there might be a bridge of some sort that goes
Huh.
across.
All
So,
right.
Rainier goes 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. So let me go ahead and give you guys a little bit more vision. Oh, wrong one.
Hey, I'm probably gonna have to step off here in a few minutes, guys.
What? That's what I'm saying. I'm gonna look at the suit of armor because whoa, good God. I'm gonna look at the suit of armor. Touch
Okay.
it.
You're
So
gonna
you
touch
go
it?
over and nothing happens. If you would
Huh.
open the door, do you open the door?
Yeah.
You open the door to an empty alcove directly behind it.
Huh.
There's literally nothing behind it. It's
Well,
just
damn.
yep.
Disappointing.
It was meant as an add-on to what would appear to be like a future like hallway to be dug out and
Huh.
constructed here. There were different plans for this location, and they had to change their whole plan, their whole dilemma that they ran into. So you all, and this is just for time's sake, you all may move yourselves up to 60 feet.
I'm gonna go. I'll be like right here.
Um, Here. I think if I walked around, that would be about 60 feet.
I just want to fight things, and I thought that would get me to fight things.
So you all get all the way to the back. You guys start to move all the way back here, and that's when you notice that this entire area has kind of like it's decrepit and crumbling apart and falling stone is loitered the floor. There's a lot of leftover debris from pre-existing conditions that have caused this entire place to over time slowly start to fall into dismay. And as you look around, you notice that this is kind of it. There's all these doors and there's all these um, openings, but you don't see any treasure. What are you guys gonna do?
So, like I said, I have to jump off here in a few seconds, but Giacomo would look around the room. I would see that the treasure's not in this room, and I would look at Lesra and Misty and say, and and Olan and say,
Well, something's just not adding up.
and I reach down into my pouch and pull the Stone of Galore out, look at it dead in its 3 stone eyes, and I basically all but scream at it, and I say,
God damn you, Galore! Show us the treasure!
And that is a good place to stop right there.
Yep, and we'll go ahead
Good.
and end there.